like you could do it. My beautiful geekies, this is my review for Magnificent 7, the newest version, directed by Antoine Fuqua and written by Richard Wenk and Nick Pizzolatto. It stars Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt, Vincent D'Onofrio, Ethan Hawke, Byung-Hun Lee, Manuel Garcia Rolfo, Martin Sandsmeyer, and Peter Sarsgaard. And this is about 7 outlaws and cowboys who come together to save a town that is being run wild by Peter Sarsgaard, who wants the gold to the mines next to it. In this, we get a great adventure, great characters, along with great performances. Denzel Washington, an all-around the man, and he steals the show. He's the main star, of course, because this is directed by Antoine Fuqua. He is awesome. There's a real dark aspect to this character. There's a real great backstory, which is not very much explored, and it actually comes in full throttle at the end of the movie, feeling a little shoved in, but it's still something that gives depth to the character and makes us feel for him, and Denzel Washington playing this role is once again awesome. Chris Pratt is also really good in this movie, and I was expecting a little bit more for him, honestly. Nothing really bothered about his performance or his character, but I really expected to see much more for him. I mean, the promotional materials and the trailers all were about Denzel Washington and Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt, although he has a great role, he is in this movie a lot, he's the main guy next to Denzel Washington, but it really does not feature him as a co-star next to Denzel Washington. All the other 6 guys are co-stars next to the main star level of Denzel Washington. But I really liked Chris Pratt, he was good, and his character does have an edge to him that you are probably not expecting, that he's this really dark, greedy guy when it comes to being on a fight, on a battle, on a shootout, and that's something that I really appreciated. Ethan Hawke and Byung-Hun Lee come as an item in this. They are a double package, and they are great. They have great banter, great dialogue between them. They have a great relationship. They are like a dynamic duo amongst the Magnificent 7, which I really appreciated. And every scene that you see Denzel Washington talking to Ethan Hawke really reminds you of Training Day. As you watch this movie, if you've seen Training Day and you listen to their dialogue and the way they talk to each other, how they emote to each other, it is really something great to see. Especially, once again, because Antoine Fuqua is directing this movie. All around, the guys were great, but the one that stole the show, along with Denzel Washington, for me, was Vincent D'Onofrio. He was so good. He was the comedic aspect to this movie, but it didn't feel forced. It didn't feel unnecessary. It didn't feel out of tone. He is really over the top, but the guy is the master of over the top. He is so good. His character is great, his performance is great. You can see that he had a lot of work making this character unique, and the script also allows him to do that and make this character his own. And every character these actors portray are their own in this movie. They're not just copies of the previous versions, which is something really to admire. But the main star, even above Denzel Washington, for me was Antoine Fuqua. He directed this movie masterfully. He did a great job when it came to the action set pieces, when it came to developing the characters. He made it feel like an adventure, even in the calmer scenes, when these guys were just talking or making their way to the town they have to save, or just uniting the Magnificent 7. And I really commend him for that, because he gave this movie a voice. This is a new version of the Magnificent 7, another version just as legitimate as the previous ones, and makes this a very refreshing Western with enough of the old to make it familiar, but enough of the new to make it stand on its own. The action set pieces are far in between, but they are great. You feel for every character. Every sound that you hear makes the impact stick. Every punch, every kick, every shot from a gun, every shot from an arrow, everything sticks with you thanks to the great direction and camera work and framing, and to the sound design. I really commend the action set pieces on this, especially the last action set piece, because the whole third act of this movie is basically one gigantic action scene. Remember the gigantic action scene in Civil War? Well, you got another one right here, my friends, set in the old Wild Wild West. I apologize, I did not mean to remind you guys of Wild Wild West, the movie. I'm sorry. This movie overall, it really works, but it also runs into a little bit of trouble in it that you can sense adventure when they are uniting the Magnificent Seven, but they do take a little too long. I think almost the first entire hour of the movie, in which the exposition is really done for just like that, and you get on going to uniting these guys, but then that's the slowest part of the movie, when these guys are coming together one by one, or maybe two by two. And the movie is indeed a little too long that it needed. There are a couple of scenes that you could have chunked down, and the movie is only 2 hours and 10 minutes. It could have been 2 hours perfectly. There are only 10 minutes that cut a few things here and there, and the movie would have still been the same and worked even better. As far as Peter Sarsgaard goes, I can't really call his performance anything. When he was on screen, he was believable as this guy who wanted gold and was enslaving this town and being a bad guy, but he's in the beginning of the movie and he's in the end, and there's nothing much more to him. He's not in the movie almost at all, and you never feel the impact of him being a villain besides the threat there are his men working and protecting, let's call it, that small village. And one gripe that I do personally have with this movie is that Matt Bomer is in this movie. It's a shame how you cast Matt Bomer in this movie. I'm not going to say who he is, I'm not going to say what happens to him. If you've seen the movie, you know that it's a shame how they cast Matt Bomer in this movie. All in all, guys, it's a great Western. It's a new Western. It's a Western that stands on its own. It's got great fun, great action, and it actually has great drama in it, believe it or not. I was surprised. It feels like an adventure. The action set pieces are tremendous. The star is Antoine Fuqua, no doubt about it, and it's always a good thing when you can say that the director is the star of their movie, and because of all that, I am going to give Magnificent Seven an amazeballs rating. What did you think of the Magnificent Seven? Are you a fan of Antoine Fuqua? Are you a fan of Denzel Washington? Let me know your favorite movie from these two gentlemen in the comments below, and let me know what you think about the original Magnificent Seven. Also, guys, your questions are now gathered around and are together for me to film the Q&A and put it up on Saturday for you to enjoy and maybe win something on that giveaway. But the next Q&A will be announced on that video, so I can't wait to reveal to you guys what it will be. And of course, if you want to see what I'm up to all the time and see all my shenanigans all around in my life, go to my Facebook or Instagram or my vlog channel, and all those links are in the description, so don't forget to stalk me on the internet. And if you aren't subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button below and join the Sting the Beautiful geeky community where it can be geeky united. I thank you all so much for watching. I love you, my beautiful geekies. You guys are the best. You are awesome. Stay beautiful. Stay geeky. Cheers!